Hey YouTube, it is time to talk about roses and rose care. I have been growing roses since 1996 and I believe there's about 75 or 80 of them here now. I've been collecting them over the years and I've narrowed my rose care routine down to something very simple because I used to fuss a lot over all the details and all the schedules. I've just narrowed it down to 3 products that I use, and I'm going to share with you what I do. Starting early in the spring, we pruned. You can see that video here, and that rose is right over there, and I'll show you that here in a moment. But it doesn't need to be super complicated. In the early spring, I will use, and I know it's an old wives' tale, Epsom salts. They do work. I don't know how, but as soon as my roses start to look like they're going to be budding out in the spring, or they're not doing very well, or especially because we're in a cold zone and we take a lot of cold and wind in the winter, and so hybrid teas especially take a beating here, and a lot of springs I'll come out and it's like, man, that one's dead. This, I don't know why, I don't know the science of it, but I will usually do about 1/3 of a cup around each rose, just sprinkle it in and kind of water it down in, and I will see lots of new basal breaks and new growth from the underground if I use this. And I don't use it more than once in the year. I just do it first thing in the spring, and I'll show you. We're going to take a look at what some roses look like right now compared to what they look like in the spring when I put this on them. There were a few that looked like they weren't going to come back. If they still look like they're not going to come back and they're struggling, I will use a product called Super Thrive. A nursery grower that we have in the family told me about this a long time ago. It's like 1/4 teaspoon per gallon of water. And anything that looks like it's struggling after the spring and everything's already leafed out, if I have some that aren't looking good, I'll use this and just give them an extra boost with Super Thrive. And then once they start to leaf out and they look like they're getting ready to start putting on all of these beautiful buds that you see behind me, I will do, and I don't do a specific brand. This one is Bio Advanced All-in-One Rose and Flower Care. And just follow the directions for this. But I used to use a Bayer product. I just didn't find it this year. I got all of these you can get on Amazon. I'll put links down below, but you can get them at any garden center. But this actually it's a fertilizer, insect control, and disease control. And you can see how beautiful and plush this Gertrude Jekyll behind me looks. That is all I do. And I'll use that 3-in-1 fertilizer. I just did that around the 1st of April. I did the Epsom salts about a week prior, and then about April 5th I used the 3-in-1, and it is now June 6th, and this is what these look like. And I'll show you what some of those struggling roses look like after using the Epsom salts and the 3-in-1. But I will come back once these are done blooming. I only get really 2 flushes of blooms, so this one will finish. And then I'll probably do another fertilizer treatment somewhere about 6 weeks from my first application, so that'll be here pretty soon. And then I'll do one again, not too late in the year, before my second sort of last flush, because I don't want a bunch of new growth going into fall because we get frost pretty early. So it'll depend on where you live, how often to do it. I'll do it probably twice, maybe 3 times in a season, and that's it. So I've tried to keep it really basic, and my roses have always done this. This is every year. They look so great, and I'm not out here fussing over a schedule, and I don't fight a lot of black spot, mildew, aphids. We have some years I'll have a little bit of black spot, but it doesn't seem to stay. So I'm going to take you and we'll go look at some of these before and afters. Also, can we just talk about how gorgeous Gertrude Jekyll looks right now? Oh my goodness. If you could smell these and all of this beautiful green leafy growth. We've got some Austins here that are doing really well, and if you watched my video about the sad rose that had the rootstock trying to take off, that's this. I cut that out. Remember, we wrenched all those rootstock pieces out of under the ground and how sad it looked? That is this. It's kind of being swamped by a peony right now, but look how gorgeous. Shiny, beautiful, glossy new growth and a bloom. And I believe this is pristine. I think I said in that video that it was Gemini, but this is pristine. I misnamed it. Sorry. So let's go check out the rest of the garden. And if you remember my pruning video, this is the rose I was working on. This is Hot Cocoa. Look at all this glossy, incredible growth and blooms everywhere. I'm so excited. I love this rose so much. And it's such a hardy, healthy plant. It always looks great. This is one I had to fertilize heavily with both the Epsom salts and the triple action, and this is new growth coming up, but it was just dead down to the ground. It's Sonia. Look how pretty she is. And there's Christopher Marlowe back there. This is one that I thought was dead. I transplanted it. It's Double Delight. It's a hybrid tea. I transplanted it and it looked like it wasn't coming back, and here's some new growth. So I'm gonna baby that one today. I'm gonna put some Super Thrive on that one today and see if we can't get it to survive. And this is my Ferdinand Pichard, which I transplanted in the spring, and I thought it was dead entirely. In the little bit of footage you can see here, there's nothing going on, and after doing a little bit of the Epsom salts and the triple action, I do see some new growth coming up. So that rose is not going to be dead, but it is going to take some ICU, I call it ICU, intensive care this year for this one to get him to come back. And this is my little Graham Thomas, which struggles. You can see the growth here compared to prior to Epsom salt and fertilizer, and it is going to make it. And what's nice this year, I don't have deer coming through and eating all of this new tiny growth because we put a fence in last year. So the deer finally can't get to these and take out all these buds, so I'll get to see this one flower. This was their favorite one to nibble on. This one has come back after Epsom salt and fertilizer. This is the Prince. It's another one I transplanted the year before. This is my old Blush, which you can see in this prior clip how badly this was looking. And again, lots of nice cane breaks. A new growth came up after hitting it with Epsom salts and triple action. So we're going to keep babying this bed a little bit this year and just continue to watch them. And I'm just about ready to fertilize again. And I'll probably put some Super Thrive on some of these, especially the really short ones, just to make sure they come back. And here's another hybrid tea that was down to the ground. It looked like it was dead. And look at all of this terrific new growth and buds. This is Pascali, and it came back really well after some Epsom salt and that fertilizer. So super happy with that one. And you've got Fontaine Latour back here going crazy. And we have sort of a water problem this year. We've got irrigation that's not working right, so I'm having to hand water everything. But look at how beautiful these are. So I hope this helps you. If you're afraid that rose care is daunting, or there's too much to it, or it's too complicated and time consuming, it doesn't have to be. And you can get beautiful roses with fairly minimal amount of fertilizing and fussing. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.